State Farm Insurance in Jefferson City. Got my co-host Andrew Briggs back on with us today. Thank you, Andrew, for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me.
Jefferson County was able to get a huge victory over Dobbins-Bennett on Friday night, 39-34. First time in 24 years for Jefferson County to be able to knock off Dobbins-Bennett. And it was a huge win for the Jefferson County Patriots.
Oh yeah, a much needed win for Jefferson County, and like you said, a very big win for the players and coaches, I think.
Yeah. Now, the offense really was stellar all night long. Put pressure on Dobbins-Bennett to try to keep up.
Yeah, the offense was very in rhythm and in sync and played really well, and that really helped the Jefferson County team get into the game and put pressure on DB and made them make plays also.
Mm-hmm. I think at 22-7, I think a lot of people thought that Jefferson County was getting ready to kind of bust this one wide open, and they weren't able to bust it wide open, but they were able to maintain the lead throughout.
Yeah, Dobbins-Bennett made a run there and came back, and I think a lot of people were like, oh no, but then Jefferson County came back with a good solid drive and got themselves back on top and maintained that lead like you said.
Yeah, you know, Todd Collins kind of spoke to the team before the game, and that was a special thing with the NFL doing for the Super Bowl. That it kind of seemed like it got the guys motivated and got them off on the right foot.
Yeah, from what they said, it seemed like it did get them into the game, or ready to go to play, and motivated to go out there and get a big win and much needed win against Dobbins-Bennett.
Now this week you got Bearden coming into town. Probably the most improved team in the state. 1-9 a year ago, sitting at 6-3 right now, with a big victory over Science Hill this week.
Yeah, probably the hottest team in this area right now. It's going to be a tough test for Jefferson County when they play them next week. And like you said, coming on a very emotional win against Science Hill. But it'll be a good test for Jefferson County.
Jefferson County did improve to 4-5 on the season, looking to get to that 500 mark against Bearden on Friday night. Now when we return, we will have our Angie Cox State Farm Player of the Week. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. We now go into our Jefferson County Post Angie Cox State Farm Players of the Week. Quarterback Austin Jenkins and senior wide receiver Noah Carter both had big games against Dobbins-Bennett on Friday night. Austin was 17 of 28, throwing for 433 yards and 4 touchdowns. A career night for you, Austin. Kind of talk about how the offense was clicking.
We caught rhythm, and it was exactly what we were hoping for. We got the defensive looks that we were expecting. Offensive line held up, and we just got the ball to our playmakers.
Yeah, and Noah, 6 catches, 130 yards. Kind of talk about what you saw, maybe that Austin saw as well.
It's just like he's talking about. We got the looks that we were hoping for, and we executed them.
Yeah.
Austin, you came out and against a Dobbins-Bennett team, which has defeated some good teams this year, but had some bad losses. What did you expect going into that game?
We expected the team was hungry, especially after what happened with our head coach, and that's a tough situation to have to play with. We just had our coach lose a family member, and it's tough on a team mentally not having your leader there at practice, or in this case in a game. So we knew they were going to come out with an inspired bunch, but so were we. We've got 24 years riding on it, so we needed a big win.
Noah, 24 years it has been since Jefferson County was able to defeat Dobbins-Bennett. What does it mean to you for this, being your senior year, this class being able to be the first one in nearly a quarter of a century?
I mean, it means a lot to us, but I guess it really means a lot more to the community since it's been 24 years. And I think it's going to help us with our going out with a big bang.
Well, hoping to continue that big bang. Austin, you got a much improved Bearden team coming in this week at 6-3, coming off a huge win against Science Hill. What are some things that you guys have seen from Bearden so far? I know you guys will practice and scheme and everything this week, but what are some things you've seen from Bearden so far that you're aware and know that you guys have to do good?
Well, see, all season we're playing in the conference that we're in. We're seeing tough defenses nonstop, and this week, we finally caught a little bit of a rhythm, and we hope just to carry that over. They're a similar style defense, like to play the same way, but they've got some good sized defensive line, which if our offensive line plays well, we can beat most teams.
No, as Bearden comes in next week, what do you, as a player, going to be looking? What do you think for you to make plays and make a difference in that game, what do you have to do?
I mean, just execute what's called and do the little things.
Now, kind of going back, you know,
Yeah.
to the Dolphins Bennett game this past Friday. You know, you have weapons all around you.
Yeah.
Okay, but maybe none bigger than Noah and Gurrell. But Cole Snowden stepped up huge this week for you guys.
We saw a different style of coverage this week where we're almost seeing a bracket with a man press. They put their best defender outside one-on-one. Gurrell said, "Don't let him catch football." Then we also saw with a linebacker trying to get Noah's face and safety over top. When you see that kind of look, that's 3 guys trying to guard 2, sometimes even 4. Cole Snowden, Zach Rogers, Draven Fine, our running backs. When you see those guys step up, Jonathan Royster, you know, playing a lot of defense, not getting to play much offense. But you know, when they can have the ability to make plays too, that gets guys like Noah and Gurrell back up and to make big plays.
Right. And what does that mean to you, Noah? Like throughout the game, you know those guys are scheming to stop yourself and Gurrell. But throughout the game, you see the defense change, and you see those openings, and you know, hey, I'm about to break loose here.
And you just get big eyes.
Yeah.
You get big eyes because you know it's coming, and you want to execute it.
Austin, you guys built a big lead up 22-7 against DB. When they fall all the way back in that game, what helped you on that next drive push and score on that next drive? What helped you in offense?
I think what we really saw is, if you notice, the first 3 plays that we were actually running plays. We hadn't caught a good offensive rhythm running the football yet during the game. We had some jet sweeps with Ely and Trayson and Noah trying to get to the outside, but Dalton Morgan came up huge. Him and Trayson both hit huge holes, and then Ely being able to spread the team out in the screen game. So when we started out with 3 run plays, you get the guys to come back up, you force one-on-one coverage outside, and we can make big plays with our guys outside. Line did a great job. That was the big thing. Once we saw push, and you see at the end of the game, we got to milk the clock. We ran them out of timeouts, and we're just running power left, power right, which is something we don't really do. But when the line was able just to take over, it was able to last the game.
No, the offense scored on 4 straight possessions in the first half. Was driving to score on a 5th straight. The fumble kind of stalled the drive. What is the mindset of the offense? Though you guys are moving the ball and being in sync, to have that happen, what is the mindset of the offense after that happens?
I mean, it's something you really don't want to happen, but I mean, once you know that you've got it going, and once you get stopped on time, I mean, it's easily, you're easily going to be able to get it going again.
Mm-hmm. Austin, 2-8 a year ago, have a game Friday night to be able to get to 5-5 on this season. How important is this game for you guys moving forward as the playoffs approach?
I think that, especially in the 6A system where everyone makes the playoffs, you've got to get hot at the end. So that's beating a rival like Dolphins Bennett, going into a big game with an improved team who's tied for 3rd right now, possibly making a push for 2nd in the conference in Bearden. That'd be a huge win. And then we're just going to make some guys make some decisions on head-to-head and some coin flips to see who's going to go where in this playoff picture. But it's going to be more about catching our stride, because we've seen that when we play well, we can play with anyone we play that we're up against. Yeah. And we don't run our scheme. We don't run the way we're coached. We don't just execute the way that we plan to. We just don't play as well.
Mm-hmm. No, Austin mentioned the screen game that during the game was ran plenty of times. How does that open things up for you as a wide receiver, and even if it's ran for you?
It just gets the defenders thinking that is it going to come, and it gets them a step or 2 slower because they got to wait on it and see if it's going to happen or not. And with that step or 2, you're able to get over.
If you guys have to travel first round, which it's looking like you may have to go to a Middle Tennessee team that's ordinarily been a powerhouse in the state. Kind of talk about the travel and the mindset going forward through the playoffs.
Honestly, as a team, I don't think it's really been a huge deal travel-wise. Mm-hmm. We saw that even in the Maryville game, of course, Maryville being the #1 team in the state, nationally ranked, we're not going to see an opponent that's going to come out and hit us any harder or execute better than they did. Mm-hmm. So we went to their place. We moved the ball. Unfortunately, couldn't put it in the zone. Defense had some positive plays. We got hit on the deep ball, but we've progressed and gotten better as the year goes along. So I think that we are ready to face a good team on the road, but we believe that we're a good team. We've made some mistakes. Again, we're 15 points away between Hardin Valley and Bradley Central from being in the top half of this conference and fighting for a number 2 spot.
Yeah.
So we do believe that we're a good team. We can play with anybody that we're going to see.
Yeah. No, moving ahead, what are some things that you feel like you guys need to do to be productive on offense? Also on defense, you're playing both sides of the ball.
It's just on offense is to try to keep it going. I mean, we've got a little rhythm going right now, and it'd be good if we could keep that going. And on the defensive side, it's just try not to have any busted coverages, defensive line, or with secondary, and being able to get big third down stops.
No, Austin, you guys have been hurt in plenty of games by the big plays early. How did it feel, or what was the importance of you guys coming out and making the big plays early and putting it on them instead of them putting it on you?
It was huge, and we've seen, I think, every game this season, we've gone on defense first. That's Coach Caldwell's philosophy. But we've also seen that after the half, we have scored first on almost every possession we've gotten on the second half kickoff. But this game, defense stepped up. We got an early, I think it was a turnover, first drive, I think it was a fumble. We went down, we got a few positive plays, and offense ended up stalling. We put them in a bad situation, got the ball back again, went down and scored, and we scored on 3 straight possessions. So seeing that, us being able to take that first hit and then rebound and smack and keep going, that's what's key for our team. And Coach Caldwell preaches to us about being a team of and being just a tough-minded team, and I think that we've shown that through this season that we can progress and that we can be that team.
Senior wide receiver Noah Carter and senior quarterback Austin Jenkins, your Angie Cox State Farm Jefferson County Post Players of the Week. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. Moving ahead to our Big Orange Breakdown portion of the show, brought to you today by Volunteer Spirits in Jefferson City, reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. Of course, Tennessee failed Alabama yesterday 19-14 in Tuscaloosa. They had their opportunities to win. They had the lead with just over 5 minutes to go in the game. Just wasn't able to sustain that lead. Alabama was able to march down the field and score with 2:24 left to take the lead 19-14, ultimately winning by that margin. Some positive notes out of that game. Tennessee definitely was not intimidated going into a hostile environment down in Tuscaloosa. They were able to hold their own against a very good Alabama team. Really took the fight to them for most of the game, and was really, like I said, had their chances to win the football game, even despite missing 3 field goals. They'll be long field goals, still missed field goals, hampered Tennessee's chances of winning the football game. Had a chance to be up 23-13 rather than 14-13 late in that ball game. Just wasn't able to do it. Moving ahead, though, I think Tennessee's done with the toughest part of their schedule. They still have some tough games ahead, but nothing like they've seen these first 7 games of the season. There's no Alabama on the schedule, there's no Florida on the schedule, no Oklahoma on the schedule. And it starts this week against a Kentucky team going to Lexington on Halloween. You know that Kentucky's going to be chomping at the bit to be able to have the opportunity to knock off Tennessee. A lot of people are predicting Tennessee to win out from here, continue and be 8-4, which would be an improvement off of last year's 6-16. And they should be favored in the rest of their games this season. You have Kentucky, you have a game against Missouri. That'll be a tough contest because of Missouri's defense. But you do have to like Tennessee's chances of getting to 8-4 this season, as long as they take care of business and they don't have a hiccup along the road against somebody that they're not supposed to lose to. And I think that is the key. If they can stay focused on the task at hand and realize that they can still have a very special season, they can finish 8-4 on the season. Now going back to the Alabama game, Josh Dobbs had a serviceable game, nothing outstanding, but really didn't turn the ball over and did what you wanted him to do and gave him a chance to win late in the fourth quarter. Of course, Jalen Hurd was Jalen Hurd. He got good yardage against a great defense. 18 carries for 92 yards for Jalen Hurd. And I think you saw him just continue to be the physical runner, and really, toward the end of the game, defenders really didn't want to hit him. He was carrying the fight to them. Defensively, Corey Vereen and Justin Martin had outstanding games for Tennessee. Neither one of them were starters at the beginning of the season. They got a lot of playing time yesterday and had great games for the University of Tennessee against Alabama. Again, the kickoff this week is at 7 p.m. in Lexington. It'll be on the SEC Network, so you can make sure you will watch it on Halloween night. That is your Big Orange Breakdown, brought to you by Volunteer Spirits in Jefferson City, reminding you, if you drink, please drink responsibly. Welcome back to Jefferson County Post Sports with Mike Stanley. Moving forward into our fifth quarter portion of the show, brought to you today by the Dandridge General Store, located in historic downtown Dandridge. Andrew, Jefferson County versus Bearden.
Mm-hmm.
Bearden comes to Dumpling Valley this week. We've already talked about how much improved Bearden is. I think the thing that we haven't mentioned is that Jefferson County is an improved football team as well. So it's kind of the battle of the improved football teams on the season.
Yeah.
Who do you have?
I'm going to pick Jefferson County in this game. I think both teams are riding momentum into the game. Bearden's hot, but I think the game's in Dumpling Valley, which gives Jefferson County another advantage, which Jefferson County's played very well at home this year. So I think Jefferson County's going to ride the momentum off their game against DB in their win, and I think they beat Bearden in a very close game.
Yeah, I do think that the win against Dobbins Bennett was huge for Jefferson County to kind of beat a team with a name, if that makes any sense. But it kind of gives them that a little bit of a jolt, and I think Bearden coming off two or three big wins in a row here, they're kind of due a letdown game. So maybe Jefferson County's getting them at a good time. I know they're probably one of the hottest teams in the state right now, but it seems like Jefferson County could be getting them at a good time. I think Jefferson County does knock them off as well. I think they get to 500 going into the playoffs. They drop Bearden to 6-4 on the season, and I think I agree with you. I think it's a really close contested ball game throughout, but I do think Jefferson County gets it done. Staying in conference now in the region. You have Hardin Valley versus Maryville, and Maryville is Maryville. They're undefeated, number one team in the state.
Yeah.
I don't see Hardin Valley having a chance in this game. Hardin Valley is a decent football team, but they're not Maryville decent.
No, I don't think really anybody is right now. But I've not seen a team that is in this area, so I think Maryville beats Hardin Valley in a big win, and just Hardin Valley can't keep up with them.
Yeah, I agree. I think Maryville improves 10-0 on the season, goes into the playoffs undefeated, and probably just continues the win even after that. Now moving over into the college ranks, we'll start out with a game that has some interest around here, and that's Georgia and Florida. Being in the Southeast, you have fans from Georgia that live close by. You have fans from Florida. I think most Florida fans are bandwagon fans. I don't think they really like Florida. They just
happen to say other when not.
Yeah. So they're bandwagon fans. But anyways, this one's for you. But you, of course, it's a huge rivalry game for both teams. Georgia's kind of on the decline. Of course, Florida, without their starting quarterback, is kind of leveled out. They're not as hot as they were. Who you got in this game?
I think I'm going to take Georgia in this game. I think with Florida missing their starting quarterback with Will Greer, I think Georgia comes in and beats them. Even though they lost Nick Chubb against Tennessee, which was a gruesome injury, I still think they're still a good football team, and they will knock off Florida.
Yeah, I think it's a close game throughout, obviously. I don't know if Georgia has enough offensive firepower to score against a good Florida defense, because Florida's defense is still in the top echelon in the SEC. So that kind of has me thrown off there. I think Florida gets it done with Trayon Harris being kind of the dual threat quarterback. I think Florida in a very close ball game, probably like a 21-17 low scoring affair. I think Florida gets it done. Now moving to Halloween night in Lexington, Kentucky, you have Tennessee traveling up to Kentucky to take on your Wildcats. I'll let you go ahead and talk. You're going to be wrong, so I'll let you go ahead and talk.
Well, you're going to be wrong, I'm afraid to say, but not to a surprise, I'm going to pick Kentucky in this game, even though Tennessee coming off a big game against Alabama, which they played very well. Kentucky coming off a game against Mississippi State that they did not play well at all. But I think Kentucky has momentum in this season, and that their offense, Patrick Tolles will pick apart that secondary, which has been Tennessee's low part besides Cam Sutton. I think Patrick Tolles has a big game throwing it, and that the Boone Williams running it has a big game too. And Kentucky knocks off Tennessee in a high-scoring, good game.
Yeah. Well, of course, I'm going to disagree. I think, and here's the thing. If Tennessee pulls off that game yesterday against Alabama, I think that they go up to Kentucky and lose. Just because you had the huge comeback against Georgia, you have a huge win against Alabama, you're doing that letdown game, it's Halloween, it's in Kentucky, you got a Kentucky team that's improved, it's good, but with Tennessee losing, I don't think Tennessee goes up there and gets beat anymore. I think Tennessee's going to make Patrick Tolles beat him, and not let Boone beat him. And I do think that kind of Kentucky is almost pulling a Kentucky, if you will.
They really are. I agree.
Last season they got off to a hot start, struggled down the stretch. This season got off to a good start. Now they've lost the last two.
Yeah.
Now where's their mindset coming into to a game against your rival Tennessee? I think Tennessee gets it done. I do think it's a close ball game, and I agree with you. It'll probably be a high scoring contest.
Yeah.
But I'm gonna go Tennessee in this game. And I do think that Tennessee wins the rest of the games this season. They finished the season 8-4, but we'll get into that later. I'll even make you a bet. Okay,
all
on
right.
this show next week, if Tennessee loses to Kentucky, I will wear a Kentucky shirt the whole show.
I'll take that bet. That's a good bet.
Okay, what's in it for me though?
I can't say I own a Tennessee shirt, but
I can bring you one. I've got plenty.
I'll let you stick with your bet, but you got to wear a Kentucky shirt if they win.
Unbelievable. How about if I bring you a hat?
I'll wear a Tennessee hat.
You wear a Tennessee hat?
Yes.
Yes. For Andrew Briggs, the Kentucky Wildcat fan, I'm Mike Stanley. Thank you guys for watching.